Hi guys, we're going to be speaking today about what is really going on with Bitcoin, crypto, in general, all of the other altcoins near Matic. Everybody is a little on their seats about what's going on, but overnight, it looks like things are starting to go for the best. So let's talk about it. If you haven't already, subscribe, drop a comment, and hit the bell for your latest news in crypto. Bitcoin today, right now, at this very moment, is trading at $39,000. Finally, it has eventually got back to 39,000, but just kind of daggering around between what 37, 39,000, which is not the greatest thing. On the upside of things, it could start trading around 40 is what we want to see. If we're going to be optimistic and positive, it will trade potentially around 45,000 again. But how I see, I do believe that it's a high possibility that we're going to start see that we can still see a $25,000 all-time low. So that is still a big possibility coming in. There is a lot of volume happening right now. As far as it looks like the selling is kind of dying down. It looks like we're kind of shifting the power back to the buyers here. Coming in MACD, we've had this before, but it's pretty close where it looks like it's going to actually come up and start going into an uptrend. Where we've had this where it kind of like faked us out a little bit. So back on the 20th of April, the 25th of April, it faked us out, and even here on the 28th, it did. So it could be another fake out. But I don't really think that it's going to be too much of one. I do believe if we can kind of keep up on the upswing of things, we can see that. So we'll just call it a good fluctuation. The last big fake out that we had that was this close was back in December of 2021. And of course, it just kind of reversed. So that's another thing that keeps me on the edge, thinking that potentially it's going to be, it can actually drop down to the 25,000 level mark. All in all, it's not great. We don't want to see it at 38 or 39,000. We definitely want to see it around 42 minimum. That's a good trading point for there. But of course, it's completely up to how things really work later on. If we're going to speak about Ethereum, which we're going to do right now, Ethereum's trading at 28.55, so $2,856 right now. It's starting to pick up too. I woke up this morning, looked at the chart, and it's what I see that, oh, well, okay, it's going up some good. Thank God, finally. We can have a fake out too. The same thing, 25th, 28th. We kind of had where it's like, okay, well, it's getting a little bit better as far as the moving averages go. Well, we kind of broke over this line. This is that line that 28, 28.58. We're kind of right here. That's where we don't really want to go much lower than out of this. We did break it, but it looks like it's kind of coming back into that. So that is something on the positive side of things. Looking at the weekly that we had, since we're starting off with Monday, looking a little bit better. If we're looking at the moving averages for the charts, it still shows that we kind of touched over, and we're still going to go down. So nothing too positive when we're looking at the weekly, right? So that is something to kind of watch for a little bit. So it could continue to go down. It does look like it's giving a bit of a head and shoulders movement coming in from here when we're looking at the weekly, and that's what is a little bit worrying for me. We could dip back down as well, possibly to the 2,000 mark for what we're seeing. Judging by the weekly, of course, so nothing like too optimistic here. We could potentially see that, but then again, it could break out. But we don't want to see it break down much more than this. But the fact that it's kind of forming that makes me a little bit nervous at the time. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on Ethereum, see where we're going, because to touch back around 3,500 would be a great thing, because we haven't seen that since March the 28th. And around $3,500, we had some good pushes coming from there. So hopefully we kind of retouch back on that basis. All right, Matic. Matic has been in a downward slump for quite some time, and a steep one. Um, well, when we're looking here, uh, we have some big red candles coming in. We need to see those really start to consolidate a lot smaller to really kind of push for something more positive, right? So we had this fake out too. a really close one on the 25th of April. We thought, like, okay, well, hey, it can go up. But of course, it continued to decline. And we're really big right here, right now, that a lot of the selling is going on. Um, it could go back up, but I don't really see it. I think we're just kind of bouncing off from this. It's trading at $1.11 right now. But it looks like it will continue to go down if this is what you're looking for. Hey, is this the moment that's going to go up? I would definitely give it a day or two before you start trading on it if that's something you're doing. I'm going to wait on this and see from the next day or two because it could continue to decline based on what I'm seeing. Looking at the weekly mark for Matic, it is not the greatest either. Very, very minute. And even the weekly does show that it is still in line to continue the downtrend from what I see. One more I want to go over is near punt like made a sharp turn like all of a sudden too. Let's see, the first being yesterday. Um, it actually really shot back up. When we're looking at the daily, it does show that near is still in the downward trend, starting to make a more upward move, which is cool. But it's still too close to call, only from a day or two. It's starting to show some bullish signs, but not enough for me to really be too positive in it because we just had this huge decline over the past several days of the past week. And when we go to the weekly, we can see that it is the same, just completely killing it. And when we look at the weekly too, as well, it's like we crossed over, but it's kind of starting to move over. And that was based from yesterday. It's starting to kind of like weak back in. But it could easily continue this downward, this fake as well. Going over the market as a whole, Bitcoin is up by 2.58% for the daily, down by 51% for the weekly. Ethereum is up by almost 3% for the daily, it's down by 0.39, so showing some good positive outcomes in the future. Solana is up by 2.28% and down by almost 8 for the weekly. XRP is up by 5.60% for the 24-hour period, which is much better. Terra Luna is actually kind of showing some good signs too for the daily at 4.68% and 8.42 in the whole for the weekly. Cardano is even up some, 78 cents, but 2.80% for the daily and down by 9.76 for the weekly. Terra Luna USD is not really showing much change for where it's sitting. AVAX is actually up as well, 2.49%. Doge is up by 2.61 for the day and 3% for the week. DOT is actually up by 4.33% for the daily. Still down by 13 and 3% for the week. Shiba is up by 5 and 9 for the daily. Also great. Polygon Matic, which we were just speaking about, 4.67. Near is up by 12%, almost 13% for the daily. Tron, Litecoin, a lot of these are actually moved up overnight. If you looked at the market yesterday, it was completely horrible, blood red. But it does show some positive signs for the dailies at least. So VeChain's up by 5.45% for the 24-hour period. And we have 7% for Sandbox. Zeta Networks by 5.91. Some big changes. They're still down by the weekly. They're still down by quite a bit. But overall, it's starting to see some big pumps. Phantom, which I'm a big fan of, is up by 16.62% for the 24-hour period, and the weekly is still minus 23.53. So some good signs if you're looking at some of these altcoins, which are fantastic. All right, guys. So we do have some bullish behavior going on over the last couple of days. We need to watch and see what's really going to happen from today until tomorrow, and see what's going. Can we trust this, or is it actually going to just trick us into giving away our money? All right, guys. Thank you for joining. Subscribe, drop a comment, and I will see you next time.